1979 music video. And then I did an Eminem one once where I knew only one location from the music video. All I could find was the building. So I went to the building and it was a summer day, but it was late summer. It was gray and rainy. It was just not conducive to filming. And all I had was a building. So I was kind of filming. And I said, you know what? I guess this video's over. And then I went and spoke to a security guard across the street in this empty parking lot. I said, do you know where these lights are? And he's looking and he's like, no. He's like watching the video with me. And he started trying to figure it out with me. And I'm like, I just think they should be here. Like these lights behind Eminem. And he's like, I don't know, man. And I said poles. And then I looked up and those poles were right beside me. And I was like, are those lights? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, those are lights behind Eminem. So I looked, so I pulled back, walking backwards, and I turned around, and then there was the bridge that he's rapping on. Then I was like, holy shit, and then there's the benches he walks beside. So the whole video is filmed on this one block, and I found every location. So every time I go to Detroit a lot, every time I pass that building, I still think of that day as like, just, you know, it's just so cool. It's just so cool finding everything where someone who I admired worked and created such a great video. So there's stuff, there's a lot. Yeah, there's lots. I mean, if I go to a filming location, I usually love the movie or the music video or the TV show. It's very rare that I'll go like to something I haven't seen a lot or love. Halloween, I love, you know, lots of stuff. But I've got a few coming. I've got a lot in the can that I haven't edited yet. But there are a couple of movies that I'm just not a huge fan of, but I did them because a couple of friends in LA and other places said, no, you got to do them. They're big fans and they did them with me. And I'll get around to editing them at some point. But I like to be excited when I go places, you know? I'm pretty much 99% of the time what you see on screen when I'm talking fast and excited. I'm not joking.
You're hyped about it. I can see
Yeah,
that.
I'm hyped. Yeah.
I can see that. And one of my favorite videos that you filmed was Kurt Cobain's House in the Hills.
Right.
And I still talk about that. I still talk about that with like my friends and stuff. I'm like, dude, like this dude went all the way up the hills, and God only knows how long that shit will take just because they didn't go through the elevator.
No.
You know, but the roads are so narrow, like the sidewalks. And I'm like,
It's
dude,
crazy. That's the only part of the Hollywood Hills that's really like that, with where the houses are together with just a sidewalk. It's usually winding roads and sidewalks on the roads tight together, but that's an actual little neighborhood with those sidewalks going all the way around. And the place where I stay at in LA, in Hollywood, is right there. You can walk out onto the balcony, you can look up and you can see the tip of Kurt's house. And so every time I'm there, I'm like, yeah, I got to do it. I was always putting it off. And then another YouTube channel that I film with, Grim Life Collective, we were talking about where we were going to film. And he said, well, you're the Kurt Cobain guy. You love Kurt. Why don't we go to Kurt's house? And I was like, well, I guess that's where we're going, because I've always wanted to do it. And I'm actually, tomorrow night, I'm staying at that same place. So I'll probably take a walk up there to see the what worked, because it has been sold, to see what they've done with it. And I actually we filmed it that morning, then filmed a whole bunch of stuff. And then I went back the next day because I didn't do a whole intro. I had to go back and film the whole walking towards it because I was talking with him so much. And then I started the video right away. But I want to show how big that walk is. But that was a real thrill. And the door was wide open. So how do you not go in?
Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
The neighbors told us to go in. They said, go in. They said, yeah, go in. No one's in. Now it's barred. Now it's totally locked up. You can't get in.
Is it due to so many fans?
Yeah. Yeah. Due to my video and Michael's video from Grim Life, for sure. Because I started getting tagged in a lot of Instagram, Kurt Cobain's house and stuff. I was like, this is in like within 5 days when I was still there in LA. I was like, oh man, a lot of people are going inside. Like, I don't want people ripping apart. There's nothing there inside, but I don't want people ripping apart. And then my friend Sean in LA, he went to take some pictures, and he called me from there. He's like, dude, it's locked. It's all locked up. And I was like, yeah, saw that coming.
Is it like privately owned by somebody?
Somebody just bought it. I forget how much, maybe 1.5 or something like that. Pretty cheap. It wasn't a lot, but I would assume so. Somebody bought it, so I'm going to take a look. I'll give you an update when I'm there. I'll message you. I think it's I think they're probably working on it inside and out. It needs a lot of work, but I can't see them tearing it down. A, because of the history,
Yeah.
because it was Kurt Cobain's only for a short time, but still. And B, how the hell are you going to get construction up there? I don't know how you like literally like it's as small as tiny streets up on a giant hill. Like I don't know how you would tear something down and then get the material up there to build a new house. It seems insane to me. I'm sure people know how to do it, but I wouldn't want to
Seems
do
like
that.
a lot of work, a lot of
Yeah.
hassle just to
Yeah.
get up there.
Yeah, like that, it's a solid foundation. The house is really solid. Like it's, there's no I think in the video I showed a couple of rooms where like there's tile torn off the wall, but
Mhm.
that's just, I mean, people were squatting in there at times. Like I opened the fridge and some of that food was there only maybe 2 or 3 months. So
Wow.
people were finding a way to just to chill in there. What a great, I mean, LA's got such a sad homelessness issue. What a great place to squat than Kurt Cobain's Hollywood Hills home. But now it's boarded up. I want to say that just in case people try to get in, you can't get in.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. I was just like, dude, that would be crazy because only time I was in California, I was in the band in high school. I saw a lot of monuments that I was always thinking like, dude, like that's dope. Seeing the Hollywood sign
Yeah,
from a distance. I've always wanted to hike up there though, one day. And
it's a far it's a far walk,
I
but
even
it's
told
worth
you
it.
I want to do it one day.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
So
And it's one of those, the Hollywood sign is one of those things. Like I said to my friend, another friend lives there, I said, do you ever get tired of seeing it? And they said, no. And I said, same with me. And I said, I know I don't live in LA, but I'm there a lot. I said, it doesn't matter how many times I turn to, like if I'm driving on the 105 or something, it doesn't matter how many times I turn to the left and I see it. I'm like, there it is. There it is.
mhm.
And also I use it as a guide because I try to get around the city without GPS. So I'm always like, just follow the Hollywood sign to get to Hollywood and then drive away from the Hollywood sign to go to Long Beach, and it's just every time I'll stop by it, some side streets and take pictures of it. I got a million pictures of it just, and like how many pictures do I need? But it's thrilling to see.
It is. It's
It's
exciting.
exciting.
And me being from Florida, then going to Texas, our biggest thing is the Tower of Americas in
Right.
downtown, and that's like our biggest thing in the Alamo Dome.
The Alamo's cool. The
Yeah, but
Alamo itself, yeah.
but seeing
San Antonio is beautiful.
it is and the Alamo, my favorite part of Texas and San Antonio is the Alamo.
Yeah.
I've always been fascinated with the Alamo, and growing up here, having school trips, field trips to go to the Alamo, that was a thing.
I bet. Yeah. I mean, it's a huge. It's a. I never. There were so many. It was a like a Wednesday in January when I was there, and it was packed. Like there
Yeah,
was so many people. So and there were a lot of school trips. I noticed that there were a lot of school trips, but there's so many people, and there are like different languages all around me. So there's people coming from all around the world to see the Alamo. It's world. It's well known. And being from Canada, I've said this before in other videos. We don't learn American history,
mm,
right? We don't learn American history in school. We learn Canadian history and world history, and American history if it pertains to Canada, like the War of 1812, or if it pertains to world history, World War II sort of thing. But we don't learn. So I had to read and learn a lot, especially, lots. I still have to when it comes to certain things about, American history. Like when I'm in Washington, D.C., I'm like, what's that? Or, because we don't learn it here.
damn,
Yeah.
that's insane, bro. Like I've always wondered how that is. And I told my friend like last year, I was like, dude, I think I want to move to Canada, and he was like, you really do? And then that big snowstorm happened in Texas that covered. It was like a damn blizzard, and I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know. And he was
Yeah.
like, yeah, do you really want to go and shovel your driveway and have to have to shovel your car out the snow? And I was like, and then just recently, I was just like, yeah, I don't think I can make it in Canada.
That's what I tell my friends from California, Florida, and Texas. I'm like, because a lot of them want to move to Canada. I'm just like, if I'm like, you don't understand. I said, if because Canada, I mean, where I am, Toronto, has the same climate as New York, Chicago. Minnesota is much colder than Toronto. like something like that. But I'm in Wyoming, for God's sakes, that's freezing. But I'm always like, you don't understand how much snow we can get and how cold it can get. It's not easy. But we've had some good mild winters in the past in a while, and I haven't had to shovel my car out in a while. So that's been good.
That's good, bro. Knock on wood, right?
Yeah.
They're saying that's supposed to be blizzard again in November over here in Texas.
Yeah, and you guys aren't. I mean, are you prepared for it this time? Like the power lines?
I hope so. Just because, thank God the part of town I live at is right near the base, one of the local bases, Lackland, and it's just none of the power from the base on side all the way down that main street, all the way down towards the highway, never lost power.
Wow.
And just on that same power strip, I think, and that's what kind of saved us.
I saw a video. I still have it on my phone. I just saw it the other day. From the Texas storm, because up here a lot of Canadians like on Twitter and stuff were just like laughing about it, making fun of Texans for freaking out because of snow. Like, oh, we have to. But then when the seriousness came, it's like, oh, they're not really prepared, and it's not their fault. Like, but there's this one video of this kid, and all his friends are telling him to lick a metal pole.
Oh,
and he was doing this, and he does, and I'm watching. I'm like, no, don't. Like, that's something you learn as a little kid in Canada. And he does it, and his tongue gets stuck, and it's the funniest thing ever. And they have to pour water over him to get it off, like in the Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
I hope you guys are prepared, because you guys can't go through that again. No,
I couldn't do that, bro. And my next question, would you ever, since that was one of my other favorite kind of videos that you made, was Amityville house.
Yeah.
And I was really fascinated. I've always been fascinated with that story over there and everything, because I'm a big horror guy too. So I was my brother told me, I said, hey, I'm going to be interviewing Scott on Tape. I was hyped up last week when you messaged me back. I was like, hell yeah, bro, look, I got a message back. And he goes, ask him, would you ever film inside the house?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did. I mean, I was just on Long Island 3 weeks ago filming something else. So I was close to Amityville. And again, like I was so excited to film it. It was hard to film because I've been to Amityville a couple times before to the house. So, you got to be careful because people live there and neighbors and stuff. But I didn't have any trouble until I went on the other side. The woman was yelling at me from this other lot. But I always get a thrill going there and going to places like that because, I mean, aside from the fact that a family really was murdered in there. So that's very tragic and very sad. And that's why I went to their graves in the video to show that, there's something real happened. But as far as the ghost stuff, things happen. And I'm not too, I wouldn't be too concerned about that. I've spoken to the owners of the house. I won't be filming inside. It's a whole thing. They're really nice. But I don't think I don't think the people who live there now are going to let anybody, they don't really want anything to do with it, but they've seen my video and they thought it was good, I was flattered. They were, that's the communication that we had back and forth. So, but to answer your brother's question, tell him, yeah, I would go inside, like any haunted type place. If you said to me, like, you can go in and film overnight or something, I'd be like, yep. Oh yeah.
All the way. Are we going out tonight? All the way. I'ma chug the bottle, chug it up.